The first one is everything I'm facing now is linked to the past. So how
Ah,
can I forget the past?
my goodness. Buddha said, forget about the past because the past is dead and gone. It will never come back. You are wasting time thinking of the past. It is a dead past and unborn future. So the Buddha said, be mindful of the present. Past is gone, future has not yet come. Live in the present. Present moment is the only moment you can make use of. Time is running out just like a flowing river. The future is becoming present, present is becoming past. So now it is flowing. If you don't make use of the present, that means your past and the future are going to be useless. So make use of the present, then do something that is good, then your past will be good, and your future will be good. So living in the present is mindfulness, mindfulness of the present. So think of the work at hand and do the work at hand. No thinking. All thinking is uh, just foolish. Because what is the use of thinking? You have to speak and you have to work. So we can never be happy until others are happy. So make them happy. That's something for you to do in the present. You have to give love to get love. That is something you can do in the present. See the pain and suffering of others, then you know how fortunate you are. So when people are troublesome, listen, but don't speak. These are few points for you to remember, mm, not to go into argument, but to live. And this is another point which I have always uh, repeated. The mind is running at the speed of light with no aim and purpose. It is like a fast car without brakes and without steering. You don't know how to stop the mind and turn and steer away, avoiding traffic without harming others. Now, this is the mind that is running at a tremendous speed, just thinking of useless things of the past. Past is dead and gone, future has not yet come. Mindfulness of the present, wisdom and mindfulness, loving kindness, and steer you on the path. So always think of the other's problem. Don't think of your problem. Your problem is nothing compared to others. So think of those who are suffering now, who are dead and gone. Goodness knows where they have gone. Useless thinking of that. But there is work for you to do. So we can never be happy until others are happy. So make them happy. Okay? Okay? Live in the present. Do something. Don't be lazy. Get up and work. Isn't that nice? Our
That's
past is dead and gone. Atitang nan vagamaya. Nappatikangkang anagatang. Don't worry about the future. Future is just conjecture. You don't know what the future holds. So don't worry about the future, don't worry about the past, but remember to be mindful of the present. Do the work at hand, whatever you can do, and find satisfaction in everything you do. So when you're working, you're happy. When you're eating, you're happy. When you're speaking, you're happy. So happiness is there all the time. Satisfaction is happiness.
Bhikkhuni, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll move on to the second question.
Yeah.
Are we suffering because of what other people do or because of our own wrong view?
It may be both because we are staying in an environment. There are environmental factors that are harmful, harmless, and that are neutral. Sometimes the environment is offensive. It can be due to people or due to animals or due to the weather or something. So there are environmental causes because you see it, you smell it, you hear it, you uh, you feel it, then you taste it. So what you eat, all those things come from the environment. So environmental causes are there. Where they are, those are vipaka. You're born into that environment or you're staying in that particular environment. If you are in the Devaloka, that environment will give you more happiness. If you are in the Apaya Loka, that environment will give you more pain and suffering. So it depends on the environment. So that is vipaka where you are staying. But there is karma, the way you react to the vipaka. That is important. So if you react with anger and hatred, or if you react with greed, hatred, and ignorance, then you are also committing some mischief where you will get to suffer the results of your own mind that is bringing you unnecessary trouble. That is why I said, listen but don't talk. So try to avoid the traffic. Try to steer away from traffic and try to stop and turn. This has to be done mindfully. So, environment can give you pain and suffering. Your own mind can give you pain and suffering. Your own speech can give you pain and suffering. Your own behavior can give you pain and suffering. So, because you are not alone, you have to face the consequences. So, there are environmental factors, there are mental factors, physical factors, and also uh, karmic factors and other factors, many, that can act upon you. Sometimes it is raining, sometimes it is too hot, or something like that. The environment is also offensive. So we have to know how to steer away and go to the desired destination, and that is this Eightfold Path. Learn how to be in the Eightfold Path. Right view, right thinking, right speech, right action. This is the Buddha word. There is no other way you can avoid all the trouble. Right speech, right action, that is, you don't overdo, you don't underdo. If you are having loving kindness, then you know exactly what to do and then switch off. But if you have no loving kindness but only tanha, you will overdo and then you will expect returns. Both are wrong. So if you have loving kindness, you will do exactly what is necessary, living in the present moment, and then you will bow out of the scene and avoid traffic and stop and turn. So you have a fast car, don't allow the car to run without brakes. Okay.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. What kind of a lifestyle should those who aspire to enter the stream live in their effort to be free of Sakkaya Ditthi?
Sakkaya Ditthi means that you have a wrong view. Satkaya. Sat is Sadakalika. Kaya means a physical body that is permanent. That's what they thought during the time of the Buddha, that the Brahma created the world and a part of his soul is also in our system. And that is the Sakkaya. That is Sadakarika. The soul is permanent. Soul does not die. Soul belongs to the Creator God. So that's a wrong view people had. But the Buddha said there is nothing permanent in the world. Everything is changing. Your mind is changing, your body is changing, the environment is changing, the sun, moon and stars are changing. Now the scientists have found that the entire universe is changing. Nothing is static. They are held static because of so many forces that balance out and they appear to be static. But they are always having to move about, circulation, rotation, so that they can avoid all the forces. So this impermanence is something that the Buddha discovered. And the Buddha said there is nothing called a permanent soul. So that is Sakkaya Ditthi. Satkaya Ditthi. Sat is Sadakalika. Kaya is there is a body called the soul that is permanent. When you die, the soul doesn't die, only the body dies. And the soul keeps on going until it meets the Creator and becomes permanent. So that was the Sassata Ditti, the wrong view that all of them held. They all thought the God created, and Buddha blasted this theory. And it would have been such a difficult thing because the whole world believed that there is a soul and that the Creator God. So as soon as he said everything is impermanent, anicca, he spoke against that current view, the wrong view they held. So if you believe that the mind is changing, body is changing, environment is changing, then you will little by little get rid of this idea that there is a permanent soul called Atma, a part of the maker, and all that you will get rid of. So Sotapatti is the first stage of sainthood, where they realize it by their own intuition that everything is changing. Not because Buddha said it, not because the book says it, not because somebody says it, but because you believe that everything is changing. This anicca is the one thing that the Buddha spoke about. And he said, if everything is changing, don't believe that there is anything permanent that you can call as me, I, and mine. So, to break that concept, that wrong view, is the breaking down of Sakaya Ditti. That is the first sainthood. Okay?
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Bhikkhuni. I'll move on to the next question. Social obligations make it difficult to practice the path all the time. There's a sense of guilt when sila is broken with wrong speech and wrong actions. Please advise.
Don't take it so hard. Nobody is an arahant because you make mistakes. Because you are not running, you are still struggling to walk. So sometimes you say the wrong thing. But you can make amends if it is possible. You can admit your guilt and say, I think I said the wrong thing, don't worry about it. Or something like that. And just get out of, steer away from the problem. Don't try to face problem and then argue it out, because then you get into a confrontation. So even if you make mistakes, it doesn't matter. You can always say, I think I said the wrong thing. What I meant was something else or something. Or give some excuse. So somehow, if you can understand that you are guilty and that you have said the wrong thing, then there is no problem. Then you can always make comments by forgetting it, or by saying or doing something, or to redeem that you can do something and not become guilty. You can't become guilty because that's the nature of your mind and your body. So many mistakes we are doing, that is why we are not arahants. So we have to take for granted that our thinking is wrong, our speech is wrong, our action is wrong, we are not arahants. So until that, we make mistakes, that's okay. So long as you understand it's a mistake and make comments and then forgive and forget, and if you are doing metta bhavana, it will be so easy to forgive and to admit your fault and then go back and talk to them and live with them as nothing wrong. So you see their goodness rather than their stupidity. So try to see their goodness and try to understand this. If you are equally stupid, how can you redeem that situation? So people are bad in this world, you can't help it. They don't act the way you want them to do. So then you are always in confrontation. So don't look for happiness from the world. Look for happiness from your own mind, the loving kindness you have, the speech, the action you do. That is the thing that gives you happiness. Don't expect it from the world. World may give it, world may not give it. So then you are always begging from others to give you satisfaction. Why can't you give others the satisfaction? When you give, you become master of the mind. So give them satisfaction, or if there is an argument, just stop it, keep quiet, do and forget it. Don't make an issue out of small incidents. And then this issue becomes a big thing. It is like having a small wound and you don't treat that wound, you don't put some medicine, you simply live with the wound and it keeps on paining you all day. So the right thing to do is to put some medicine and cover with gauze. Then the wound will be healed. So same thing in your mind. When you live with others, you get small wounds here and there. So what you have to do is you have to put the medicine, that is loving kindness in your thinking, in your speech and action, and forgive the world. When you forgive the world, you don't suffer with a small bruise, and then you forget it. Then it doesn't become a big wound and a big issue. So you need the people, so you have to live with them. And just because they do some small mistake or they are always doing the same mistake, you have to know that it is their nature. You can't stop people from the way their behavior, from the way they behave. So you have to have a lot of kindness, metta, karuna, mudita, upekka. These are things that the Buddha has recommended. Metta is loving kindness. Karuna is compassion for the suffering world. You can see the other person as a suffering person and have compassion. Or mudita, when they are proud and they are high flown, then you can agree with that and say, yes, I think you deserve all the good things in the world. And then you compliment them without getting jealous or angry. Then upeksha is becoming neutral or equanimous to the world. The world is like that, I can't change it. So be equanimous. So like that, Buddha said so many things. How to live with society, how to uh, how to avoid unnecessary trouble, how to be giving giving speech. Always giving is better than taking. When you take, then you are your subordinate because that person is the giver. When you give, you are the master. So give love, give kindness, leave them alone. Don't uh, expect things and don't be disappointed when they don't do things. Because they have no right in this world, nothing belongs. So all the rights and privileges are convention, they are not absolutely true. So we have to understand we may have taken debts all our life in samsara, which you have to pay now. So when people are well and you have to pay, live with it, what to do? If you are sick, you can't run away from there. Then you have to live with it. I have to live with old age, I can't run away from it. So try to understand the limits. Okay?
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Bhikkhuni. The next question is, what are the possible vipaka for breaking each of the 5 precepts?
I can't tell you straight away. There may be some for grave mistakes, not for these frivolous things. If you rob and steal, the karma can be just simple or it can be very grievous. So if it is grievous killing, then there is a different kind of vipaka. If there is just a small, you are killing a mosquito, then it is not the same as killing your mother. Killing your mother is giving you, or father is giving you anantari vipaka. Whereas killing a mosquito will not give you that kind of vipaka because your mindset is not grievously bad. So they are not the same karma and they are not the same vipaka. So it differs. And when you are stealing, if you steal little things or if you steal big things, then it's a different thing. You can steal somebody's property or there are so many land disputes. People have acquired by force other people's properties. They don't want to give it. Then they have taken other people's possessions by power. And there are so many grievous faults where robbing and stealing is strong. But if it is a small thing, then you can always say, I did it, and admit it and finish with it, or return it. I took this without your knowledge. I'm able to return this, so someday I will give it to you. So you can escape from the karmic problem without making it a big issue. If you have done sexual misconduct, then you have to admit that you have done it and that you will never ever do it again. Then you can escape from that heinous crime. Well, if you don't admit to yourself that I have done this crime, I will never more do it, and be kind and generous to your spouse, you can still escape without making serious blunders. Because the Buddha said these 5 precepts are serious blunders. So you have to face the music. The returns will come to you later. And the 4th precept is speech. You have to be kind and generous in your speech. Buddha has said, Nela kanna sukha bahujanakanta manapa. Nela kanna sukha, kanata sukha. That means easy on the ear. Be soft and gentle in your speech, not loud and harsh. And also don't tell lies. So speech has to be very careful. You have to be very careful in your speech. So the 5 precepts are there for you to keep. But if you make a mistake, admit it at least to yourself and tell yourself, I shall not do it again. That is the way you can change your character, you can change your whole lifestyle, you can change once you know, well, I'm speaking out of turn, I'm speaking unfair things, I'm very selfish in my speech. Then you go slow. So without doing the same mistake again and again, because speech is a habit. If you are used to speech like that, very difficult to get out of it. Any one of these 5 precepts, if you get used to it, very difficult to get out because they are habit forming. So speech is also habit forming. So try to stop and turn and be. Once you know it is a wrong thing, then you can get out of it. So if it is a small thing, you can easily get out of it. You can apologize to the person, or you can tell yourself, I will never ever do this kind of thing again. It hurts me and it hurts others. Because I make bad karma, and I hurt the others. So once you admit your fault, that is what the Buddha says in Yoniso Manasikara, where you have to see your fault and understand it is your own mind that is giving you pain and suffering. It is your anger that is giving you pain and suffering, not the other person. Other person said and did things, but your reaction with anger makes you unhappy all the time. I remember somebody said, now hereafter I won't get angry. I will think I have taken a big debt and that is why they are worrying me like this. So I am paying my debt, so let them do that. So sometimes it works, not all the time. You have to find out how to deal with the situation, how to escape from that, how to avoid traffic. Okay? And the other one is taking intoxicants that also is habit forming. Once you know that it is habit forming, once you know that if you take one sip even, you are looking for another sip and another sip and another and another. So then you get caught to that. So you have no escape. So if you think you can avoid, then you will make a effort to avoid it. Once you get used to it, then it becomes a problem. You can't avoid it. You can't live without it. You don't see the damage you do to yourself and to others, and you think it is okay. It doesn't matter. I'm not hurting anybody. That the five precepts are to be kept. The Buddha said, keep the precept, because if you break the precept, it becomes your habit and character, and then you become victim to your own karmic problem. Okay?
Okay, the next one is on meditation. When doing Anapanasati, my breath became very thin and subtle. However, I felt the entire weight of my body. How do I reflect on this and proceed with my meditation?
If the Anapanasati is right, you can never have a heavy body. You feel very light and very comfortable. Maybe you are putting too much stress or too fast or doing something, you are thinking of other things and trying to do anapana at the same time. There are many mistakes that can do. So try to relax the body and relax the mind and do anapanasati in a way that you forget the body altogether. You never get heaviness of the body. When you do the anapanasati, the mind also gets relaxed and the body also disappears. You even don't know that you have a body. So I think the anapanasati is wrong. Either you are too fast or you are thinking of other things and mixing up with anapanasati, or there's something wrong with the anapanas, the way you practice. Because if you practice, you relax the whole body and you take it easy and you are concentrated. Then the body does not matter because the body disappears. Okay, I don't know what exactly is the matter.
Okay, Bhikkhuni. Sadhu, sadhu. Thank you. And the last one is, why did the Buddha refuse to ordain Mahaprajapati Gotami at the beginning?
Even Prajapati Gotami, the Buddha didn't ordain at once because the females are difficult in the sense it's also male monks are there and celibacy is difficult when there are females. But then the Buddha said women were not given the rights and privileges because that was a Brahminic cult, and the Buddha was also waiting whether the society will also uh, go against the Buddha if he takes in women. So he waited for an opportunity where the society will say yes, and that happened because the Mahaprajapati and 500 of those ladies, they shaved their heads and they donned the yellow robes and they walked all the distance from Kapilavastu to Vesali, and then nobody ever stopped their march. It's a big march. 7 days or something they were marching, and then the Buddha realized now the society is willing to admit women into the order. So, because nobody, they could have stoned and they could have got rid of that march, but nobody ever. Right along, they were supported, and people were crying and looking at them. These 500 nuns who did this march, and then they were supporting them throughout, and the Buddha knew now the society is ready for the ordination of women. Maybe that is the reason that he said no at the beginning and waited for the right time to start the Bhikkhuni ordination. And at the end of the march, the Buddha readily agreed, and he ordained all 500 of them. They were Sakyan ladies from the court, from the princesses, and they were well established, and they all got ordination, and that was the beginning of the Bhikkhuni order. Okay.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Bhikkhuni.